And welcome back to Open Your Eyes. We're about to venture off into topic number 2 for the morning. As a matter of fact, it's definitely one dear to us. This weekend is one where Belizeans will be flocking to watering hole. And so the topic is actually water safety tips by the YWCA. Now in to tell us more is Joevannie Collins, who is the Public Relations Officer at YWCA, and also Deanna Peyrefitte, who is the General Secretary at YWCA. Ladies, so
Good
nice
morning.
to see you.
Good
morning.
Hi.
Good morning.
Buenas wata. But nonetheless, it's definitely a weekend that people are looking forward to. And like I was telling Marlene this morning, man, the first quarter of this year was very hectic, especially with the big topic of the ICJ.
Yes.
Families will want to wind down and relax.
Definitely.
More so at a watering hole.
Oh,
Let's
yes.
jump on into this.
Yeah.
Okay, so for any individual or family unit that would like to take recreational activities in or near bodies of water, it's very, very important that you listen to these following tips because it might save a life, and that's our main goal at the YWCA. So if a person plans to go swimming, please ensure that you know at least how to float, reason being that there are several survival floats that you could do. But bear in mind that the YWCA offers swimming programs, right? So if you haven't been in the known of what to do in or near bodies of water, if you're afraid of being in water, it's good that the first step you should do is to learn how to swim. And the YWCA offer these courses. But tips, we could follow off with tips. So for instance, if, like I said, you're traveling to bodies of water, ensure that you have a first aid kit. Ensure that you're traveling with a person that knows CPR and first aid. That is crucial because at some destinations in Belize, you might be far away from civilizations, right? And it's good to have somebody with some sort of knowledge of medical preparedness, no?
You know, that reminds me of a story last year where a little girl in Curacao was drowning and someone passed who knew CPR. She was a nurse. And I just thought to myself, imagine if they weren't crossing paths at that same time. Because we don't have that many people trained in CPR as we should.
As we should.
Yeah.
Definitely. So at the Y, there's these programs come at the YWCA. I know there's other entities such as Red Cross and other private people who actually can certify. But it's good to go to organizations that have been doing it for a while. You know, they could give you a one-day training, and in that one day, believe it or not, you will come out, not as a doctor, but as a person that can help in times of emergencies.
Well, for me, first and foremost, I think one of the conversations that must be had before you actually leave is actually the conversation of safety. So what, is there anything that the Y, when we gather families together, of our preparation, the preparation of conversation before we get to a particular spot? Let's jump on into what do we say to our children before we move on?
Before we even go out, let's talk about pools being in your backyards. I know there's a lot of inflatable pools going up right now because it's getting a bit hot. But even though you have these inflatable pool, a child can still drown in 1 inch of water. Sometimes it takes 1 teaspoon of water for somebody to drown. So if you have an inflatable pool at home and you have it, right? Of course, with supervision, being there with your child, that's priority. Don't leave a child in an inflatable pool by themselves, no matter how big they are, no matter how experienced they may have been in the pool before because you've had it for a while. Still be there with them.
Or how shallow the pool
is. Or how shallow it is. At the end of the day, when you're finished with all the fun and games and all of that with the pool, be sure to empty it. Reason being that kids don't know danger. They will go to that pool with or without your permission, and they will be in it. And for instance, if you have toys in the pool, take them out, put them aside, because believe it or not, an infant will be attracted to the toy. And imagine if the toy is in the middle of the floating. They will go for it, right? They don't know danger. So if you have those inflatable pools and it's those ones that you could detach and put up back, please ensure to take them down. It might not be your child because of course you have to let them know the dangers of water, but it could be a neighbor's child.
That is so true.
So please, with all your best, there's Google, there's the YWCA, there's many different ways of knowing water safety. Read up about it. First, inform your child. First, inform your family members. There has to be an emergency action plan for anything in your home, whether it be aquatics, going out on a fun trip, whether it be hurricane coming, get an emergency action plan together. Sit everybody down and say, listen, if the baby end up in the pool and it is happening to drown, we should do this, this, this. All right, one person call, one person take out the child, the next person who takes out the child should know CPR. All right, so it's good to really have an action plan just in case of an emergency.
Yes.
You see, we don't think about these things.
No, and that's the reason why we
And
ask the
Easter
question.
is on us now, so we haven't done all of that. What happens when we take our families?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, these are some of the things we want our Belizeans to know. You know what, I don't understand, no matter how we encourage our Belizeans to learn to swim, they don't come. They don't come. It's amazing. We at the Y, and I'm hoping our staff is listening, the majority of our staff can't swim. And we've offered free swimming lessons. But our Belizean people just, I can't swim and I'm afraid, and we don't take advantage of
And you
the
offer
opportunity.
adult classes.
We offer
we
adult
do.
classes.
Yeah.
To be
You know,
honest,
so-
I think it's a phobia because speaking one-on-one with some of my clients that I have interacted with before teaching them how to swim, there's just this fear. And all of us are born swimmers, believe it or not. We were in a womb for 9 months in water, believe it or not. And the thing is fear. And fear normally possessed because of stories that may have been
And
told.
that's the thing, yes.
Yeah.
Right? Here, so, you know, why I'm in the jungle and this, that, and that instill fear in
Or
you.
if you have one near drowning
There's
experience,
that
that's
experience,
Right.
a
just
family member who drowned,
Then,
all these things.
right, so it's an inheritance. Right? It's a mental inheritance
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's a negative one.
Yeah.
And I always tell people, everybody has the capacity to do everything that I do. It's just a mental thing.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the first thing we try and work with you when you come to the pool. We mentally get you ready. That's the first step of learning to swim. Because if a person has fear, no matter what I do, they won't pick it up.
You have to overcome
right?
it.
You have to talk, you have to have that one-on-one, tell me what had happened, and this is what you should have done, so let's try it now.
Yeah.
You know? So there's a process we go through at the YWCA.
And you know, there's this practice where we take our children, at least our older folks, and you dash them in the water.
I
and
was
figure
just
out
about
how
to get to it.
swim, and that has instilled some. I've seen children
Extra
who are
fear.
absolutely afraid of water because that one first experience when they dash me
Yeah.
just petrified me for life, and I can't now learn to swim.
Yeah.
You know, I know some little children who are like that, and
Yeah.
so as parents we don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As adults we're not thinking how we're harming rather than doing good.
Rather than doing good to them.
You throw me the water and I can't swim. You freak out.
scared to go after that.
Yes, you know, so.
So what we're saying is we're looking at a situation of several things. One, parents or adults around children who are naturally attracted to water. We've all seen it. A toddler will walk into the deep end of the pool if you're not watching them.
Yes.
Or straight into the sea when you're not
Oh,
watching.
yes.
There's a fear associated, and we have to be able to ensure safety with all of these conditions that exist. So you have the pool safety, you have the sea safety, and you have, most importantly, the river safety as well.
All right, we could start off with the sea safety.
Okay.
For instance, I always advise people, swim near a lifeguard. The lifeguard has a peripheral vision, and that is how we're trained to look between those limits. And if you're near a lifeguard, they will see you.
Yeah.
Definitely, right? Other than that, swim as a pair. Never go alone in any bodies of water.
Yeah.
And if you're to enter bodies of water, whether it be pool, river, sea, go feet first. At the end of the day, those are, for instance, the river and the sea are natural bodies of water. When storm comes, tree roots travel, the trunks that have been broken off, all sorts of things travel along with current and may have launched itself at a destination that you might have went there last year and the water was
nice and
walkable
clean,
and
yes.
clean, and then you go back another 3 months and it's bushy and a lot of tugs and twigs around, you know, so it changes. That's nature. So always enter feet first, no matter what. That then prevents you from hitting your head if you're going head first and causing yourself paralysis and all of that. Right? Other than that, like I said, if you're an adult and you plan to consume alcohol. Alcohol impairs vision, locomotion, muscle.
Yeah.
It prevents the body from staying warm.
Yeah.
And most of the time, I know who consume alcohol. Sometimes you see an object there and go for it, and it's really not there.
Not theirs. Yeah.
Somewhere
Yeah.
else, right? So it
Yeah.
impairs your vision. So if you know you want to consume alcohol, have a designated watcher. A designated
so
watcher.
you can't all be drinking
No.
and watching the kids.
It doesn't
Exactly.
work.
Not gonna work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Because I mean, it's not just. I mean, everybody who drinks say, "Oh, I could handle anything. I could
No.
drive. I could this. I could that."
Yeah.
But there's an actual change in your reaction time.
Definitely, it's slower than usual. It's 3 times slower. Your responses are 3 times slower when consuming alcohol. And imagine now someone is dying, you have literally 30 seconds to get to them. You might reach there in a minute and a half. And that person might meet their demise just because of alcohol consumption.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, so other than that, floaties.
Please tell me about it. 'Cause
Floaties have a warning on them. Please read them. Some floaties are meant for pools only, and some are meant for open waters. There's a warning on them. Read it, familiarize yourself with
Yeah.
it. I know most of them that I have seen in Belize City is only for pool use. Those are the soft, inflatable ones.
the
Not-
noodle,
the
No,
ones
the
that you put
armband.
the babies in, that holds them upright, even those need assistance. You can't just put an infant or a toddler
And
in
leave
there
them
and
alone to
leave
go.
them
Yes.
to float away. That doesn't work because the baby alone doesn't really have locomotion as yet
Yeah.
and could tip over, could go back way. Anything can happen, right? So even though they're in their floaties, you still have to be there with them.
Yeah.
Now, the floaties that are meant for open waters are hard. They're plastic, so you know the difference with them. Normally, we call them cans, right?
The wearable ones.
The wearable ones are the least that I would ever tell you to wear.
Yeah.
Okay, those are just for shallow water. They're not for deep water. All right, so please don't put your child in one of them if you're not going to be right there with them. All right.
So wearable would be those that you blow up right there in
Put
the
on
muscle
your,
or
yeah,
that
put on your forearm and stuff like that.
Okay, okay.
That just prevents the arms to be here. If a person is fearable of water, they will go front
They will
way,
tip or they will
will
tip,
go back
yeah.
way, and your arms will just be
Just
there
be
just to
out like
support
this.
the arms, right? So, all in all, make sure, even those noodles, now we're shifting over to the pool.
Yeah.
All right. If you're in or around or going to be around a pool, ensure that there's a long stick, there's a long pole. If you're not a lifeguard, you can still save somebody's life. So, for instance, John is drowning over there. I'm not a trained person to save anybody's life. I'm even not a swimmer. The first instinct that you should do is grab a pole, grab a stick, grab a line stick.
Yeah.
You know, put it
Put
to
it
the
out.
person.
But you
tell
can't
them,
go
hold
look for it when he done the drown. So you put it there beforehand.
It's there,
Yeah.
definitely. There's buoys that you could purchase that you could toss and pull
Pull
in.
somebody in.
Right? There's many things that is available. For instance, I know that you shouldn't swim at a place that doesn't have a lifeguard. It's mandatory. If a institution has a pool, they should have somebody there that is trained as
Yeah.
a lifeguard. And
But many of them have signs that no lifeguard on duty or swimming
So
Swim
at
at
your
your
own
own
risk.
risk.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in that time, I could let you know the YWCA has services that we offer. You could
Yeah.
take your own lifeguard. If you know a place that you're going, swim
Yeah.
at your own risk, you are mandatory to take your own lifeguard. And you'll be safe.
So tell us about that indeed. We could actually rent a lifeguard from
You can.
from the what? Really?
Definitely.
A trained,
A
certified,
trained,
lifeguard.
certified
person that will go with you on your trip, come back with you, and ensure safety at all times while taking the equipment that is needed.
Yeah.
Which, of course, the individual who will not be drinking, the individual who is going to watch over everybody,
Perfect person
you could
to
get
be.
that at the Y.
Right.
And
Sweet.
knows the techniques, which is most important.
Yes.
Yeah. So you said have a noodle close if someone doesn't have any experience and wants to know they can help in a situation. Some of the pool warnings we hear all the time, the no running, the no horseplay, we always take it for granted.
And we shouldn't.
Yeah.
Honestly, we call it chicken fight. You
Yeah.
know, when you climb on top of somebody's shoulder.
Yes, yes, yes.
You know, we used to play it as a child and we really didn't know the danger. If somebody is not a swimmer, like I said, it takes 1 inch of water to drown.
Yeah.
And that person is on top and you just happen to succumb to that person and push them down. And they inhale water. and you don't realize it, that person is drowning right there.
Yeah.
Sometimes we may give a vital blow and to the temple, anywhere that is not supposed to be hit, and that person is out. You know, so we take advantage of a lot of things. For instance, when we would just dive off a tree, you know, I know a young man just met his demise with that.
Who was an experienced swimmer.
And he was an experienced swimmer. Even I myself, as an experienced swimmer, an instructor, don't take nature lightly.
And you always say that. You say, if you don't know the water, walk in.
Right. Anywhere I go. We just went to Dangriga, and my staff members are like, oh, Miss Jov, why you not do this and why you not do that? I am not there for a show. I'm there for a nice time.
Yeah.
And if I'm there for a nice time, I will follow rules and regulations all the time.
Yeah.
So I would walk in and, you know, just socialize. But this always happens. You know, you have the macho guys. They want to show off their skills and they want to, you know, impress the ladies. We see this all the time, especially at the Keys.
Yeah.
You know, even them too are prone to danger.
Yeah.
I know at the split, and I know this from you, Miss Marlene, at the split there's a very, very serious current. If you're ever caught in a current, the first thing to do is to stay calm. All right? You will know that it's a current because you cannot move. You cannot do anything that you're supposed to do. The first thing you should do, stay calm. Breathe. Say to yourself, I'm in this current, I need to survive. Next, you need to go on your back. Position yourself as best as possible on your back. And the current will spit you out eventually. All right? There's something that is called the riptides. And I myself was caught in a riptide some years ago doing a rescue, and I almost met my demise.
And that's in the sea. So
This
you're
is
talking
in the sea. So I'm talking currents in the sea. All right? So the current in the sea, a riptide are convulsions, right, of currents. And it's stemming from off the beach front. Right? So it's like, you know, your mommy cake mixer. It's something like this, right?
Yes.
And it's at the beach shore. So you might be thinking, oh, let me go and take a nice little swim. And believe it or not, you're caught in a riptide. The first thing to do is to maneuver yourself on your back. It will be the hardest thing. I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to be easy. Oh, let me go on my back. It's going to be the hardest thing, but that's the best thing for you to do. At the end of the day, the riptide will eventually, just like the cake batter, it will spit you out. After.
It's scary because it takes you out before it brings you in.
Definitely. So you might think, oh my gosh, I'm going to die because it's taking me out. You need to go out more than anything in the world. Position yourself on your back, maintain your breathing, make sure that you could breathe, and just relax until it takes you where you can maneuver yourself. Right? It might sound easy, but it's not. So you definitely have to have that mental capacity to stay calm. This also goes for river currents. River currents are sometimes tricky, right? There's on the surface currents and below current. The ones that are below are the most deadliest.
Those are stronger.
Those are stronger. They're like whirlpool under the surface of the water. I don't know anybody that has survived one. All right. So if
Can
you
you
know,
spot a whirlpool?
you cannot. Sometimes you can. You know, when you pass Hallover Bridge, there's a little swirl.
You see the swirl right there.
The smaller the swirl, the dangerous it is. Definitely, it has a longer stem. All right. So the first thing to do, if you're going to a destination that you have not been before, talk to locals. The locals know the best place to swim and where not to go. Talk to them and find out from them. Could I swim here? Where's the best place to go? Do you think here is better? You know, have a conversation with them. They know best, right? Especially if you're going somewhere you don't know. And like I said, if you're caught on a river current, it will take you downstream more than likely. All right? So the first thing to maneuver again is on your back. I prefer you go on your back. Reason being, I prefer you break a leg than break your neck. All right?
So put your feet out first in the direction you're going.
Definitely. You should be straight, arms to the side, not out, straight to the side. That way you try to lessen the injuries. All right? You're going downstream. So if the current is going like this, downstream, you maneuver yourself on your back and your feet will flow downstream. All right? That's the best way to do it.
Eventually, you'll end up on a back.
Eventually, it will spit you out where there's no current. You just have to go with it. And let people know. You could talk. Remember,
if you're on back,
you're
you
laying
can
on your
talk,
back.
yeah.
You could
So
talk.
you could see, you could
know,
scream for
come
help.
and
You
get
could-
me, help
yes.
me. You know, and just maintain yourself on your back. Breathe. Ensure to stay calm, and you could
That's
see.
the hard
I
part.
do, I-
Tell me stay calm when I don't know what's
Yeah.
happening
Right.
to me, and
So
I
you
figure.
have to mentally
So I'm
get
hearing
ready.
two very practical tips here, and yeah, probably very hard to execute,
Yeah.
but it's things you can talk about with your family.
Right.
Whenever you encounter a current in the sea or in the river, try to get on your back
Definitely.
as fast as possible.
Go feet first.
Yeah. Feet first, especially if it's a river,
Yeah.
and try to remain calm. Because if you're frantic, then you're
You're losing energy.
yeah.
Mentally going through your mind is anything. Oh, I'm dying.
Yeah.
It's best to stay positive at all times.
Yeah. So try to get on your back. Try to float it out. The current will bring
Will
you
spit
back
you
to
out
somewhere
somewhere.
safe.
Yeah.
But to survive that current rather than swimming against it.
Yes, definitely.
Because that's the danger. People try to swim against a current.
Right. So for instance, at the split, I know the
This was
current.
my top. All right, so this was my top lesson. I
Yes.
swam against a current, and it was one of the hardest things
Thing to
I've
do.
ever done. In fact, I don't even like that particular area anymore.
Again, right? Because it is
yeah,
not fair.
yeah.
So if you're ever caught in the current again in open waters, in sea or ocean, ensure to swim parallel. All right. So if the waves are going like this, guys, don't swim opposite. You cannot do it. Not even the best swimmer. You swim along with the
Along with the
waves, right? And eventually it will put you at a safe point.
Okay.
Never swim against it. If the current is taking you this direction,
Go
you
along
go
with
this
it.
direction. Don't try to swim opposite of it. It will not work.
Question.
Yes, sir.
Or just something to put in here. Okay, so you're swimming along with the current or along with the wave, and you feel like you're getting tired. So your mental now is that, my goodness,
I'm
I'm
gonna
getting
die.
tired, I'm going to die. What do you do in this situation?
Get on your back.
That's
Get on
to
your
rest.
back in a floating position.
To rest.
And rest. Breathe. Take in and out. Slow breaths. You'll be good again.
And so often we hear people say, "Oh, I can't float."
That's highly unlikable. We have two inflatable built-in balloons in our bodies, and that's called our lungs. All right. They say women float best because of our extremities.
Oh my gosh.
But I totally
No
disagree.
fat content.
Definitely. I totally disagree.
So your lungs naturally will keep you up.
Definitely. If you take in a breath, it inflates. All right? It's a built-in balloon. And sometimes it may be harder for some, especially somebody that's athletic. If somebody's athletic, we have more muscle mass than anything else, and the
Yeah.
muscle is more heavy.
Yeah.
So you might feel as if though you're not floating, but floating is keeping the upper body above on the surface of
Yeah.
the water. Your foot could float below, but you're still floating.
Yes.
All right. So
Yeah.
it's not that your body needs to be properly portioned on the surface of the water.
And then, yeah.
A person that is active will, the feet, especially if you run a lot or if you ride or if you had take a long jog before you went into the water, your foot will sink because the muscle is still contracting.
tight, yeah.
Right.
But the most important thing is that you can breathe.
Definitely.
And the number
Right.
one thing is that the 12 o'clock hour whereby we eat and then we want to go in the water. Is this mythical? Is this something that people just they say this because they want to frighten you?
Actually, no. It's something that we should practice.
Yeah.
During the digestive process, the stomach and the intestines are working. All right. And for instance, the intestines are working trying to grind up the food and digest the food. And the muscles outside, which we call our tummies and our stomach, is working too because they're in the water doing strenuous things. So muscle contracting with muscle sometimes intertwine, and this is what causes a stomach cramp. All right, and that is how most people met their demise.
Yeah.
All right, so I advise just wait an hour, relax.
Yeah.
Let the food digest, let the process begin.
We made so many parents happy just now. They have the
Process, right? Let the process begin
Yeah.
and let the body does its work while you relax, and then you could go ahead and enjoy your day.
Don't intoxication and swimming.
Intoxication and swimming does not work.
Yeah.
Hire somebody. I know there's a lot of people in families whereby they don't drink. They're
Yeah.
the perfect watchers.
perfect,
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
let them know, I plan to consume alcohol today. Could you be a watchful eye to
Yeah.
my children, or could you just look after us? You know, that a phone is very handy.
Yeah.
All right. In times of emergencies, the first thing you should do is call 911, of course. So a phone should be handy at all times.
Yeah.
If you have a first aid kit at home, take it.
Take
Yeah.
it along.
Maybe the place that you you may go to might have one, but it's always good to have your own because you know what's in it. All right. And if you are at a place that has a first aid kit, please ask somebody that works there to guide you along with it, because sometimes there's unmarked bottles. You may think it's alcohol and you throw it on the wound and it's definitely not alcohol, you know. So there's a lot of different things you have to get yourself in the known with, especially not drinking.
Pay attention to the kids.
How about nighttime swimming? Because you know you're gonna ask that? You know, sometimes we figure, we're on the beach.
Nighttime swimming is taking a risk, honestly. That is when animals come out to feed. That is when a lot of things occur during the night, especially when the moon rises. You know, the moon has to deal with the current.
And it's full moon on Friday.
Yes, it's full moon.
Right.
Wow.
And I understand there's a weather coming in.
Cold front coming in.
So please understand that the weather will change, all right? And when the weather changes, of course, the water and everything else on earth changes. So for instance, I know, John, you were asking me about weather. If you see cauliflower type clouds,
Cauliflower.
right, you know, the white
Yes.
vegetable, if you see them like that, please understand that there's a coming storm. And whenever you hear lightning, the first song of lightning is telling you that a storm is approaching.
Yeah.
So you listen to it and you could depict how far it is.
Yeah.
The first sound of lightning, you count in regards to seconds. Let's say we hear boom, we hear a lightning, you go 1,
Count how
2,
many before the other one.
3, 4, then you hear another boom. That's because the storm is 4 miles away. Each second is a mile. That's something we have to pay attention to as
because
guards.
as lifeguards, you learn all of these things. Yeah.
And the reason being, you might be, why am I wondering about thunder and lightning? You know, because in open waters, let's say you're swimming in open waters, you're still likely to get shocked. Please understand that, because there's sunken ships. There's sunken things that might have fall off a ship that is aluminum.
Yes.
Water, aluminum, and convulsion is not a good mixture. In regards to pools, when we're swimming and we hear the first song of lightning, we vacate. So please don't get upset if a lifeguard let you vacate a premises because of the song of lightning. The poles that are guided for you to hold on to get into the pool is aluminum. It's filled with water. We don't know where lightning might strike, you know, and you being in there
So
could
don't
do
swim in a storm.
Never swim in a storm.
And don't swim at night because the animals come out.
Well, more than likely, and currents are maybe stronger.
Okay, and if you're caught in the current, get on your back and float and breathe. Try your best to stay calm.
The tides are higher at certain times.
Yes, of course.
You might not really think it was shallow in the daytime and the whole depth.
That's true.
That's true. It's very true.
You know, jellyfish comes out at night to feed, so that's why you might get a lot of jellyfish.
All right.
So, but again, going back to the kids, because we hate losing our children to an activity that they love so much. Just keep an eye on them.
Children.
A sober eye on them.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Get them to swimming lessons.
And that's where I was going to get to you, Deanna. We know one of the flagship programs at the Y is your swimming program. And so, okay, you missed last year, and now you're hearing all these warnings and you're getting concerned. When's the next opportunity to get into a swimming course?
Summer.
Yeah.
Unless you want private classes for your children, which is a bit more costly. Summer is quickly approaching, and starting in July, swimming kicks off. So contact the Y. Our schedule will be out before school reopens, right, Ms. Joe? So by next week, our schedule will be out. Contact the Y. We can take as many children as want to come. We have our own pool. I think most people know that. And we have trained lifeguards. Just for the public to know, we just recently retrained or recertified all of our trainers. So like Ms. Joevannie is one of our chief lifeguards, and she's a trainer, recently certified by Red Cross. Again, the US Red Cross came in to do it. So we are not just doing this without the proper credentials and qualifications.
Of course.
So we encourage everybody, and
and it's only $45 in the summer.
Yes, it's only $45 in the summer.
And
it's
3 weeks. 3 days out of the week.
$45 for 3 weeks.
For 3 weeks.
So start saving now, even if you have multiple kids that you want to send as well, because the best thing is if they have their own skills to be able to survive.
And adults, there are also classes for adults, because we, you know, some of us might want our children to learn to swim because we don't know to swim. But then, if the children is ever in problems and need our help, we can't help them. And can you ever see a mother and a father sitting there and watching their child in distress and not wanting to help? You know, so we encourage parents. So it's never too late to learn to swim.
The adult classes are when?
In the evening time at 5:30. So we cater for working people.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that happens only summer or no?
No, it runs the same 3 days of the week during the summer.
Okay.
And what's the cost for that as well?
It's only $50.
$50.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right, so you can get your adult swimming class as well. We hope that after all the times that we keep on saying it, that people will realize the best thing you can do is to acquire this skill. We're a coastal community. We all love water.
Yeah.
If I could put in one other pitch, I know our corporate Belize does sponsor lots of things. If you ever want to sponsor a swimming program, YWCA is looking for a sponsor. We've been sponsored for the last 10 years or so by a foundation called Fiona Stevenson. So you often hear, and that is dried up basically.
Wow.
Oh,
And
no.
so it was out of the UK. The history behind that is the daughter Fiona came to Belize, realized we're a coastal community. A lot of our children don't know to swim.
Yeah.
She went back to the US and she got caught in a bombing in London, died, and her father decided to start a foundation and chose YWCA. They started a foundation but wanted a place in Belize to help children to learn to swim.
Yeah.
And YWCA was the institution they chose.
And you were doing free swimming classes
swimming
for
classes.
primary school students. It was for a couple of years.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the same Fiona Stevenson
Since
program.
2007.
Yeah.
And we've been doing for high school students this
Yeah.
year. We've included teachers to come learn to be lifeguards. You can't believe how challenging it was to actually get people to commit, and this thing was free. We're thinking you always take trips, send a teacher to learn to be a trained lifeguard. So have one on your compound.
And first aider,
And
because you might not go around aquatic places, but it's good to know.
Yeah.
So we're looking for.
So now you need Belizean sponsors to step up. To continue training our young Belizeans and teachers as lifeguards so we can all be safer in waters.
So true.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you for coming in. We appreciate all the tips. I think there are quite a number of takeaways, and we really just want everybody to be safe. And of course, you can contact the Y if you have your own trip planned to get a lifeguard for the day, or multiple if you need as well. You can sign up for the different courses that are water related as well, and get yourself trained or certified. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we'll be joined by Winesmith Limited, so stay tuned.